In early September 2010, Hong Kong-based Cathay Pacific staged an inauguration ceremony in Moscow to celebrate the commencement of direct flights between the two cities. The event was attended by the chief executive, Mr. Donald Tsang, and a business delegation from Hong Kong. This platform for interchange marked a new moment of economic and trade cooperation between Russia and Hong Kong.
I'm confident there is huge potential for stronger relations between Hong Kong and Russia, covering a wide range of topics from trade, finance, to tourism, and even cultural exchanges.
Welcome, and now cheers everybody!
Hong Kong and Russia are far apart geographically, but their economic relations are getting closer. In addition to having direct flights now, 2009 also marked the beginning of visa exemption for tourists from the two places. Trading between Hong Kong and Russia, mainly in consumer goods re-export, dates back to the mid-90s. The volume then was about $1 billion, greater than those between Russia and other countries like Portugal and South Africa. The head of the Hong Kong Trade Development Council in Moscow pointed out that many Hong Kong people had overlooked Russia's potential because Europe had never been the focus of Hong Kong businessmen.
If we consider Russia among the BRIC countries, I think there is, one very significant indicator that per capita GDP is times higher than in any other BRIC country. So now, it exceeds $10,000 per year per capita, and that's more like the developed countries level. And by 2015, it's prognosticated to reach $15,000, which is putting Russia on pace with Central European countries.
According to Leonid, Russia's current development in the technology industry opens up new opportunities for Hong Kong, in addition to trading in consumer goods.
Hong Kong has always been practical and think pragmatic. That's a fact which is absolutely necessary for the Russian style of mentality, because there is a big school of fundamental sciences, fundamental studies here in Russia, but what we lack the practical implementation with the commercial angle on that. So that's what Hong Kong can share with Russia.
However, while China and Russia are strengthening their cooperation, Hong Kong has a more important role to play. In January 2010, United Company Rusal became the first Russian enterprise to be listed in Hong Kong, raising a capital of $2.24 billion. Hong Kong has become the window of Russian enterprises in Asia.
Not just our proximity, very close, to China, to Korea, to Japan, but also, our opportunity to understand better, to react, quicker, for our customer demand, could create tremendous competitive advantage to any of our customers from Middle East, from United States, even from Australia. That's why we decided, that let's be fully open, for our future clients.
Currently, 25% of Rusal's sales are in Asia. The group believes that prospects in Asia are optimistic, and the stronger link with Asia will create new opportunities for development in the region. This will ultimately also benefit Russia's development.
Russia, it's a nation. People already realize how important is Asia. If you talk about what supports the economic growth, or everyone look at China, not just China, Japan, Korea, India, to prove or check what's going on. And I think this geographical or urban diversification and development of Siberia and the Russian Far East just will change an image of Russia is to be in a European country. It will be a truly Eurasian country.
The listing of Rusal started the trend for Russian enterprises to raise capital through Hong Kong's financial market. Many of them are planning to be listed in Hong Kong.
Гонконг сегодня один из самых развитых финансовых центров
We
в
have
мире.
chosen Hong Kong as a window to attract investments because it is a well-established financial center with a high liquidity level as compared to other financial centers like London and New York. Hong Kong's liquidity is supported by the investments from Greater China. In addition, Hong Kong's legislation is clear and predictable. This predictability is very attractive to foreign partners, including Russia.
Russia's political and economic sectors believe that Asian capital is important to Russia's economic and social reforms.
Direct foreign investments are very important to the modernization process. We're not talking only about money, but also investment of skills and technologies from the Asia region. All these components help the modernization process.
Russia's economic modernization has prompted social changes within the country and created opportunities for overseas cooperation. It has also transformed the destiny of everyone in the country, including the Chinese who are living here.
I took a deep breath and asked myself how long I would stay here. That was my first question.
In 2000, Yao Yao came alone from Zhejiang to study in Moscow. At first, she planned to return to China after her studies to help with the family business. As it turned out, she has stayed here for a decade. When Yao Yao graduated in 2003, Russia's economy was developing, and she thought she might have a better future staying here. So she joined a Chinese enterprise and worked as a project manager.
There is a lot of pressure living in cities like Moscow because the competition does not just come from the people in Moscow, but those who have come from other regions. Many graduates come to find jobs, so the economic pressure is relatively great. However, in general, it is much better than in China and many other places.
Having lived in Moscow for 10 years, Yao Yao is now totally assimilated and is more appreciative of the people and culture.
At first, I found the people rather cold, but later I found them refined and courteous. The Russians are basically very contemplative, and they have a very rich cultural essence. The Russians are people with a lot of endurance and perseverance. I dare say this has a lot to do with the environment, which is pretty rough. We found that the Russians are willing to work for their success. They are willing to put in twice the effort to achieve something.
Yao Yao sees increasing prospects of cooperation between China and Russia. With her understanding of the two countries, she believes there is more room for her development here.
Russia is a large country with plenty of resources. It is at a relatively advantageous position at all times. We are not referring to grand ideas like promoting trade between the two countries, but just say it's for my own development in the future.
Xing Zhenli and her friend's business has expanded beyond running a Chinese restaurant in St. Petersburg. They're now into trading, tourism, and Chinese medicine and healthcare. As Sino-Russian interaction increases, the Russians want to know more about China. So Xing is promoting Chinese culture by offering classes in Chinese martial arts and painting. Xing started her business without much planning, but more than a decade now she's quite sure that her future and her career have taken roots here.
There are lots of opportunities in Russia because many ideas are still unexplored. Whereas in China, whatever business that you think is promising, many other people may be doing it all over the place already. But here in Russia, there are still plenty of opportunities in many areas. Russia has talents, a relatively stable system, a foundation of strong national power, economic strength, and at the same time, rich material resources. Therefore, in the coming decade, it should have a relatively optimistic growth.
Chinese enterprises with a strong foothold in Russia do not just see a growing market here. They realize that the cooperation between Russia and China has generated new opportunities for various industries.
The main concern for the Chinese government, entrepreneurs and manufacturers is to raise their standards to meet the challenges in the high-tech areas, the new economic trends of the future, the internet economy, and high-tech products. This is what we are doing now. We are recruiting local high-end talents to join our team. In the future, we'll be completely transformed into a purely Russian enterprise.
After 2 decades of evolution, Russia, a relatively young country with a long history, has reached another milestone of development.
The last decade that Russia had had some kind of stability, and you need, an environment of stability, at least 10 years, that the majority of the population can benefit economically from the development, and then you have a platform, sort of a runway to really take off. China already has taken off. Russia is getting ready to take off.
It's really time to start something new with Russia. New project in Russia, new joint venture. And if you would enter this time, first you will need to pay a premium. The same as it would happen in 3-5 years time from now. And second, you will secure much more, let's say, better relation with your partner.
Building new Russia that will be among world leaders. It will require intensive work and partnership, both within the Russian society and partnership of Russia with other countries. So it's not easy, and it's a huge challenge for us, but it is possible.